Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mano 777, and we're back inside of Destiny here with your King's Fall 390 light level guide to ORYX Challenge mode. Again, a couple of viewers asked me if I would actually put a detailed description with my voice and directions on some things that you can do to make the raid a lot easier. We completed an upload earlier today of the complete raid without any comms or anything else like that, so if you want to check that out, that is in the library of my past videos, so you guys can go check that out. But for the ORYX fight, there are a number of things that you need to know, and a couple of things that we have done over our little bit over a year of putting this raid together that can help you in clearing this raid very easily. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. The first things first, go ahead and get orbs made. You're going to want to try and have as much as possible 2 Titans in the fire team as much as possible. It's doable without 2 Titans, but it can be tricky. One of the first things you want to do is have a hunter or some kind of a character that has the ability to gen orbs, kill all the ads as they come through the middle, and try and bring them towards the middle. 2 knights are going to spawn on the plates to the left and right, and then ORYX will dip off to the right or the left. He's going to alternate between the right side, the left side, the back side, and all those other things, so you guys want to check that out. So as the relic runner, my job is to make sure that I get all of the different pieces of the brand and pick it up at the end. What my team needs to do is set up different positions out and around the area where we're going to be fighting. And what we do is we use a concept known as rotating platforms. That means that one of our characters, one of the teammates, is always going to be on the first pillar that ORYX is going to slam and is going to be available. That first one is what he will always slam with his hand, and that's always the one that you start on. And then what you do is you work your way counterclockwise around the map if you are the relic runner, and then you pick up the brand. You don't have to press X or anything else like that, but once you pick up the brand, you want to go and pick up the brand of invincibility over from the the Hive Knight that comes in, and you want to make sure that you have that shield, because that's going to be important later on when you're detonating orbs and doing damage to ORYX. You will notice that you cannot do damage to ORYX at any point other than using the corrupted light bubbles that are around that the ogres leave. Now, you're not getting a really good picture of how those where those ogres are, but I'll show you a little bit on the next run. I'll try and look down so you can actually see what's going on. But what we do is we don't detonate on this phase, because ORYX Challenge mode, it means that you have to detonate all 16 orbs at the same time. What we do is we actually pick different sides. We use what's called ORYX right and ORYX left. That means the side on which ORYX spawns, and then the entrance left and right. That way people don't get turned around when you're doing the raid, because it is one of those things where a lot of pieces of the raid area looks very similar. And what will happen is, after this phase, if you don't detonate, he's going to regain the power of the darkness, and he's going to pull people into that darkness zone over, you can see the giant bubble there. Well, what our job is to do is to make as many orbs as we possibly can if we're on the outside, as well as keeping the thrall from getting inside. The people who are inside the bubble, their job is to take out the shade of ORYX that is going to be in there. One big strategy I have to tell you is do not tether the shade of ORYX when you are inside the bubble. That can be a big, huge problem, and he can actually cause it to slam twice. You can see here that we've got a weapons bubble here. We knock him out pretty easily here. Excuse me, a blessing bubble here. And he's very easy to take out. If for some reason he slams, I always try and be the person with the sword, because I'm running relic. I always try as much as possible to take out, first of all, the Hive Knight that's got the brand of the invincibility. And then what I use is use that sword to block his slam. It does almost no damage. So wherever he starts off, whether it's front right or front left, he will always go to the back side next. So you can see me get setting up down there. Now, one thing that my teammate does, I have a hunter in the team that actually has the traps set up on the hunter that allow you to place sticky shade shadow shots on the areas where the ogres are going to be, and it's going to trap them. It's going to make it easier for the people who are not on the plates, or the people who are in the middle, to knock them out. One thing to note, Touch of Malice no longer works in conjunction with Blessing of Light, so if you're going to try and do that, I would highly recommend that maybe instead you use Sleeper Simulant, because that'll knock out the ogres really quickly. Again, I'm going to knock out that Hive Knight. We're going to double check and make sure that at any points when we're looking left and right, We're going to clear as many ads as we can. Now, one of the things I haven't talked about is what the people on the pillars are doing other than just standing on the pillars. What they're doing is helping to kill the ogres, as well as there are going to be hive knights with swords that are going to try and eat the light bubbles, the corrupted light bubbles that are around. Their job is to shoot the knights that are across from them diagonally, and I don't really have any good video of that, but what I do have is just some comments and stuff like that from the stream. What you want to do is you want to look to the right side. If you're having problems with this, come stop by my stream. I'll give you guys an idea of where you need to be looking and things like that. Just because I'm running the relic right now, it's not an amazing viewpoint to check that out, but it should be pretty easy once you figure out where those knights are coming from, just to go ahead and shoot diagonally across from the area that you're at, whether you're in the back or in the front. Should be easy to knock out. You can see here we're doing another rotation, and what we're going to do is we're going to, again, go through this. Now, we actually have to use 5 cycles because at one point, one of those light-eating knights actually does get a couple of our blights, and so we want to make sure that we pick that up. Again, I'm making as many orbs as I possibly can, keeping those thrall from getting in the inside as much as we can, because when you are in the bubble, you do not regain your life back. You want to protect those people who are in the bubble as much as possible. Guys, that's pretty much the fight. If there's any details or anything that you have questions about, let me know. You can see here I'm pulling out my sword here. I'm going to tell my teammates to stop. I'm going to aggro him by swinging my sword at him a couple times, and you see that I take almost no damage, and I'm able to do a ton of damage with him. So if you're running Relic, I highly recommend that you bring Raise Lighter or Dark Drinker. I prefer Raise Lighter just because the way that it works very well with the Hive Knight that has the brand of invincibility, as well as when you're fighting these Shade of ORYX, it's easy to get some really nice hits in. But Sleeper Simulants are really good for this fight. Touch of Malice is really good, but honestly, I feel like Touch of Malice is great, but now that they've nerfed it to not work with the Blessing bubble, honestly, Sleeper Simulant's probably a better choice. Now, he goes to the front, he goes to the back, he comes back to the front side, whichever side he was on first, the right side or the left side. So you can see here's on the right side. We're going to go through the process one more time. You can see the ogres are about to pop up here. I'm going to start running, and life will be good. Now, as soon as the ogre drops, that is when the Hive Knight from the opposite diagonal direction can actually spawn. And so those people who are killing the ogres, as soon as they kill the ogre, they need to turn and look diagonally across, then knock out their knights. I find that this is the best strategy to use. I've seen some people put bubbles on top. I've seen some people try and do the one knight strategy. Honestly, this is the easiest strategy I've found so far. If I have a tether, since I am a hunter, or if there's a tether, I always try and put a tether anywhere I can, especially where the knights are going to be running. Make sure that you call out when his chest is open. One other thing that I do when I detonate the orbs for the final run is I make sure to count to 5 Mississippi. That seems to take care of any lag issues. Some people like to go to 3. For me, 5 seems to work and no one dies. I've only had it happen a couple of times where 1 or 2 people have died, but it's not been a big deal. It's pretty easy to take care of. So if you've got any questions, let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. If you have questions, come to the Twitch live streams. All that information is down in the description box below. Twitch.tv/ManoDuster77. We've been clearing raids like crazy the last couple weeks with Age of Triumph, with Vault of Glass, with Crota's End, now with King's Fall. We're going to be clearing these raids all this week. So come stop by if you need help, if you need a raid team. We've got a great Sherpa community that is taking care of this. We know lots of different strats. This is not the only one you can use. This is just the one that I happen to like the best, and one that my team seems to like the best. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Make sure you bring a nice sniper rifle with you, Sleeper Simulant, good primary weapon. I always like explosive rounds on mine, and that'll get it taken care of really easily. I had a blast revisiting this raid today. Got the Anguish of Drystain, got Zaouli's Bane, and my personal favorite, the Smite of Merain with Firefly. So I was really excited to pick that one up, the Adept versions. So guys, if you've got any questions, let me know. And until then, guys, just continue watching the video and enjoy it. And I'll see you next time in the universe of Destiny.